Hello and welcome to Down the Vent. My name's Joe, and today we're going to be trying to collect all the amber and forge keys before our opponent can, and KeyForge, Call the Archons. Let's check it out. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at how to play KeyForge, Call the Archons. So this is a two-player game, so I have it set up for two players. The main goal of the game is to forge 3 keys. The first person to forge their 3 keys wins the game. To forge a key, you have to have amber. You have to have 6 amber to forge a key, actually, and you have to have it at the beginning of your turn. Each turn is played in 5 steps. Step 1 is to forge a key if you have enough amber. Step 2 is then choose a house. So you're going to look at the back of your card here. It tells you like what cards are in the deck, and you'll just choose one of these 3 houses to activate this turn. So this player here is Logos, Sanctum, and Untamed. You can see there. And then this player here has Brobnar, Dis, and Shadows. Okay. Once you've activated a house, you'll then play, discard, and use cards from that chosen house. So that's either playing them from your hand, using ones that you already have played to your board, or discarding ones that you don't think will be useful. After you finish that, you'll go ahead and ready any of your cards. So when you activate them, you'll turn them sideways, and at the end of your turn, you'll just go ahead and ready them all by turning them back to face you. And then step 5, you draw back up to your hand size limit of 6 cards. So in this game, I randomly determined that the other player will be going first, so they have started with 7 cards in their hand, while I start with 6, but they start with the disadvantage of only being able to play or discard 1 card on their first turn. So we'll go ahead and just take a look at their hand here. They have 3 cards from Sanctum, 3 cards from Logos, and 1 card from Untamed. Looks like they have a lot of actions for Logos. Those aren't usually good to get off. You usually want to get creatures out. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to activate Logos just to see how this goes. So we'll say we're going to activate Logos. We couldn't forge a key, so we skipped that step this turn. So we'll choose the house, and now we get to play 1 card. So the cards here have some different areas that you want to pay attention to. The middle here is just the name, but under it says action. So those are action cards. Others say creatures. And then, I don't think we have any, but there's also like artifacts. And then this is an upgrade, which would usually go on a creature. So when you play the card, there's no cost to it, but up here in the top left is the house, so you know that this is Logos. And then right there, if there's any amber showing, that means that when you play the card, you actually get to get an amber to your supply. So now they have 1 amber. And now this card says, play the top card of your deck, play it no matter what house it's from. And then there's some flavor text on the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and play that, and then that just lets us play the top card of our deck, which is an artifact. So there we go, we got an artifact. And this is a location, so we'll go ahead and play this. It comes out and is not ready. And then we go to the next turn of the phase, or next phase of their turn, which is to just ready cards. So now they'll go ahead and ready that. And then they'll draw back up to 6 if they need to. But since they can only play 1 card this turn, they're at 6 already. Next, we're going to go to my turn here. I'm going to activate Shadows because I have a lot of shadow cards in my hand, as you can see. Alright, so I'm going to start by playing the Nerve... well, that's an action. Yeah, let's play that. We'll start with the Nerve Blast action. It says, play, steal 1 amber. So I'm going to steal an amber from my opponent. If you deal 2 damage to a creature, there's no creatures out, so I won't be able to do that. And then it just kind of tells you what happens when you steal. It says stolen amber is taken from your opponent's pool and added to your own. So that's just an action. I'm going to play this creature here. This is Naughty the Thief. It has 2 power and no defense. I'll explain here how that works in a second. And it's elusive, though, so it has a special keyword here that the first time that it would take damage in a turn, it actually ignores the damage. So elusive's pretty awesome. And it has an action, so I can activate this creature as an action, but it comes out already exhausted. So action, steal 1 amber. So that'd be good for taking amber on later turns. I'm going to play Dodger as well. Dodger's another creature. He has 5 power. And he has the ability that when I fight with him, I steal an amber. So that's pretty good. So I'm going to be stealing a lot of amber from my opponent. They're probably getting sad right now. And then the last one I'm going to play here is Shadow Elf. So Shadow Elf is an interesting creature. So it has 9 power, so it's extremely powerful. But it deals no damage when fighting. So it's good for like blocking, because damage dealt to, or for absorbing damage from its neighbors. So you'll kind of want to, I should have played this differently, but it's too late now. So damage dealt to its neighbors are dealt to it instead. So in normal card games, when you play a card, right, you can just put it wherever you want. Not in KeyForge. Once your creatures are out, that's where they stay the rest of the game. So you can only play on the flanks. So this guy will either have to go on the left side or the right side. I want to protect this guy because he has the ability to steal and he's only got 2 power. And I want to put him there so that way this guy will take a bunch of the damage from him. I can't activate any other cards. I didn't have any Shadow out to activate already. So I'll go ahead and ready my cards. And then I will draw back up to 6. Alright, so I'll go back to the other player's turn here. And they're going to activate Logos again. Let's go ahead and activate Logos again. They like playing Logos, so. They're going to start by playing Twin Bolt Emission. It says deal 2 damage to a creature and deal 2 damage to a different creature. So they're going to choose to deal 2 damage to Naughty the Thief. And Elusive does not ignore damage like that. But because the Shadow Self is next to it, it actually takes the damage from Naughty the Thief. And then they're going to choose to deal 2 more damage to Naughty the Thief. So they did a pretty good hit to them. And then there's an Amber there, so they get an Amber as well for playing that card. Then they're going to play the Wild Wormhole, which allows them to play the top card of their deck again, and it gives them another Amber because there's one on the top there. And this is a Bat Drone. And it has an ability when it fights, it steals 1 Amber. So we're going to go ahead and play that like that. It comes out exhausted up. Let's go this way. And now, because they activated Logos this turn, they can take actions on cards as well that they have out. So this artifact says action, draw a card. So they'll exhaust it, and they'll draw a card. And they got another Bat Drone. Well, since they're playing Logos, they're going to put that into play as well. That's essentially all they can do on this turn. So they'll go ahead and ready their cards. 2, 3, and then draw back up to 6. Oh man, they're getting a lot of Logos cards. This is a good kind of a draw for them. Alright, so it's back to my turn here. So I'm going to activate Shadow again just so I can show you how attacking and stuff like that works. So I'm going to bring in Silvertooth here, and they enter play ready, it says. That's the card special ability. Okay, so now I'm going to choose to activate some of my cards that I have out here because I don't have any other more I can play from my hand. I'm going to go ahead and start with fighting with Dodger. And I don't want to fight with any other creatures yet. And this guy says when I fight, I steal 1 Amber. So I'm going to steal another Amber. And when you attack, you get to choose which creature you want to attack. They're both the same, so I'm just going to choose one of these Bat Drones here. So then they're going to attempt to defend. And we'll do damage to each other. Damage in this game does not go away at the end of the turn, kind of like it would in Magic. It stays until the creature essentially dies. So like the Shadow Self will keep that 4 damage until it's either healed somehow or until it's dead. But Bat Drone has an ability here. It says Skirmish. When you use this creature to fight, it is dealt no damage in return, but because it's blocking, it is going to be dealt damage. So they deal damage at the same time. So Dodger will take 2 damage. Bat Drone takes 5. Since it's greater than its health, it is killed. Like that. The other thing to note is none of the creatures out have it yet, but there's a shield icon. If you would ever deal damage, the first time a creature is dealt damage in a turn, the shield reduces that damage. So if you had like a shield 1, say Dodger had a shield 1, he would only take 1 damage that first attack. But since nobody has shields, we're just going to be dealing straight up damage. Now, I can attack with these other creatures if I want as well. Or you can do something called Reap. And I'm going to go ahead and Reap with all 3 of these creatures. So Reap, you just exhaust the creatures, and then for each one you do that with, you get to take an amber. So now I'm up to 5 amber, closing in on my 6 needed to forge my first key. And that's pretty much it. So at the end of your turn, you exhaust all you ready all your creatures, and then draw back up. I only need 1 card, and that's essentially the basics of how you play. If I get back to my turn, the beginning of my turn, I had 1 more amber, I would be able to forge my first key, which means you discard your 6 amber and flip over one of these. But you're just going to go back and forth, trying to make sure that you kill off your opponent's creatures. You have no life yourself, so you're not worried about taking damage. You're mostly worried about controlling the board so that your opponent can't sit there and reap every turn and gain tons of amber. So, like, if they don't kill off my creatures, I could just reap with every one of these every turn and gain 4 amber. That's going to end the game quickly. So, very interesting. And there's a lot of little side rules and things like that. There's a ton of like facts online and a full rulebook online as well that you can check out. But I'll let you go ahead and investigate on your own. And we're going to head up and see what I think about KeyForge. Okay, so what do I think of KeyForge? It's an interesting take on the battle game, like Magic 2-player deck battling game. I like that you're not trying to kill your opponent, you're trying to forge 3 keys before they can. That's a nice little twist. It's not just about, dealing 20 damage or doing 30 damage like in Hearthstone, whatever. It's interesting that, it doesn't feel that different, even though you're not trying to kill your opponent. You're still like trying to get creatures out, because if you don't activate, or if you don't attack with your creatures, you can just reap with them and then get amber on your turn, and it's really just a race to get the most amber and then to forge the keys at the beginning of the turn. There's some cool mechanics where you can steal from each other and where the creatures can hold it, so it kind of forces your opponent to get creatures out and attack that guy to get his amber back. But all in all, I don't think it's that extraordinary. It's not bad, though. It's a fun game to play. And for people that, like me, who want to get back into Magic, but don't want to get back into Magic, this is a great $40 substitution. $40, you get 4 decks. That's enough for 4 people to play, honestly. You each just choose a deck, and you can do like a little draft with your friends, or you can go buy the boxes and for $10, and everyone just goes buys a box and gets together and plays. Super easy. And it's not hard to pick up. There's not a ton of rules, and usually the rules are on the card with what it does. So it's fun. It's a fun game, and I enjoy it. It's not groundbreaking. The whole no deck is alike, I don't know. It's just a gimmick, I think. I mean, it's neat, and the names are usually super dumb, though, is the problem. Like, let me see here. Let me see what my names are on my decks here. We'll go through a couple of them. Zebulon, Forum, Silver Sentinel. That means nothing to me. I mean, it sounds really cool that you can get some really interesting deck names, but like Wrongdoer Kane. I think these are the 2 that come in everyone's things. Akalai, Well-Bred Garden Singer. Okay. No, these are the 2, Radiant Argus and Miss Onyx, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. The deck names are silly. They don't really make much sense. It's interesting that no 2 decks are alike, I guess, because you never know what you're going to get. But then you can't take the cards and like make your own decks from it, at least not yet, until somebody makes some homebrew kind of rules for those. But I like that it's only 30-ish cards, 37 cards, and it makes the game go quickly, and it's fun. I recommend you check it out. It's not going to be for everyone, for sure, but I really enjoy it. And I think a lot of people will too. It's going to be popular, hopefully, with the tournament scene at the conventions next year. Because I'd like to try that out. I think it'd be fun, especially if they make you bring in, buy a new deck or get a new deck when you're there and you have no idea what you're going in with. You just have to use your skill to play the game. But hey, we'll figure that out when it comes. So, KeyForge, good for the right crowd if you want to get back into Magic, but you don't want to get all the way back into Magic and be addicted. So, check it out. Try before you buy for me. So that's all I got for KeyForge today. Until next time, my name's Joe, and you've been watching Down the Vent. Bye.